Love that question. Let me try that again. So it says that recording won't include audio, but I think we'll be okay. Anyways, we'll get started. Let me share my screen. I'll just start off and then we'll pass it over to you in a second, Lakshmi. And let's do a slideshow. Okay. So thanks everybody for joining our 11th hands-on session on the Journey Builder Bootcamp. Today we're going to be building out the Wait Until event activity. Just to take a look at the upcoming sessions in the Bootcamp series, we've got a cool session tomorrow with Matt, who's going to be covering journey building in the banking financial services area. We've got Sandesh next Tuesday covering advanced coding. He's going to show and build a custom activity in Journey Builder. And then we've got myself, Sandesh, a combination of a couple different people talking about how in Journey Builder to integrate the consent model in Salesforce CRM that's usually tied with Privacy Center and Journey Builder to use that, how do you pull that in Journey Builder to align with the consent model. I think JB's also got a session or two in the works. And then we also have our hands-on session next week. Sandesh is going to cover building a custom journey activity next Wednesday. And then we've got a hands-on session with Hunter on the 6th, doing the prompt builder, building from scratch and using prompt builder. Let's talk about our use case today. So the wait until event activity. So it's just one activity. Why are we spending an entire hands-on session on building that out? Because it's complex. And this is the use case that we found that when this functionality came about, which I think was in April of 2022, it was such a game changer, and this was why. So Cervello Bank has launched the sales initiative. They're generating a ton of leads, and the leads are being fed into this lead nurture journey that alerts sales when that lead is ready to talk. The problem is that because the lead nurture journey communicates with those leads every 7 days, there's no way for the journey to know when somebody clicks like immediately versus 5 days later, or there's no just-in-time way to move that lead up to the sales department. All leads have to wait that 7-day period. So they're not being fed in a timely manner. Our options are limited in Journey Builder as far as the out-of-the-box functions. And we just need a way to feed those leads based on their engagement just in time. So the solution is to use the amazing wait until event activity that's available in Journey Builder. It's not something you can just drag and drop on the canvas. That's why we're going to go through the part of the setup today. It's multiple stages to do that. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to create a universal entry event and a data extension is required in order to set up the wait until event. Then we're going to add a simple one to the journey. Then we're going to feed in a subscriber, a lead into the journey. And then we're going to use Postman to trigger the API call back to that wait until event so that you could see them move through the journey itself. And then that'll set up, cover a couple of different resources that you can go research on your own. You might have a hands-on session, a little bit down the road to break it out, but you're going to want to build a cloud page, and that's usually the traditional implementation. That if someone clicks on a link in an email, they're going to go to this cloud page, which is going to send that API call back to that event. And just to give some a reference of what this functionality does in Journey Builder, I built this journey just to give a frame of reference to sort of what the challenges are with our current use case. So there's 3 separate paths here, just using Journey Builder as an illustration of this challenge. So our top path is your traditional journey where I'm going to send an email and I want to wait a period of time, right, to collect all those who've engaged. Once I've got all those people who've engaged, I'd use an engagement split. And if they're ready to talk, they might move to sales. If not, they might get additional email sends. And so that's the limitation with Journey Builder, is that this wait duration activity doesn't allow, if someone clicks within the first hour, they sit in this wait step till those 7 days. So there's no way for the activity to be democratic based on their engagement. A one-day clicker who clicks within the first hour is no different than someone who clicks on the 7th day. But that lead who might be clicking, they might be ready to talk to sales that hour that they clicked. 7 days later, maybe not so much. So a way you can work around this without the wait until event is you can do something like this, which is a tiered approach to those engagement splits. So you could say, okay, I want to capture within the first 24 hours, anybody who clicked on that email, we're going to send them through. Then we'll say, okay, how about day 2? We'll send them through. And then you could, do a safety net for all the rest of those clickers in the last 5 days to send them through. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of a nice workaround, but it's not really scalable to have that for every email send. It makes your journey really complicated. So the beauty about the wait until event is this. It takes this basic functionality. It's 1,000 times better because it's just in time. You just create that email. You use this wait until event here, and if they click on the email, a call to action that is triggering this API event, then they'll simply move through just in time. It's usually about a 1 minute or 2 minute delay, but they get moved on immediately. It's as simple as this. So that's why we want to build this wait until event to leverage this amazing game-changing functionality that's in this activity. So let me just hit you and one more sec. And again, we're going to welcome our amazing hands-on builder, Lakshmi. Just a little bit about Lakshmi before we have her introduce herself or share for those who haven't met her. She is a community group leader for the Marketing Cloud Developers Group. She's a marketing champion. She's our #1 hands-on builder. She's been more hands-on builder more than anybody. She's such a superstar. And she's also an incredible chat supporter if you've attended the Journey Builder Bootcamps or really any bootcamp. Lakshmi is always there and providing really good feedback to the community. So I'll let Lakshmi introduce herself and give her background, her extensive background in Marketing Cloud and Salesforce in general.
Thank you, Tim, for adding that #1. That made me, smile a lot. So thank you so much for for conducting all these sessions, to you and, JB, because there are a lot of efforts to plan the sessions, plan the content, and, make your day free for all of us. Well, I'm Lakshmi Pavani and I'm from Melbourne. To be true, I don't have extensive knowledge in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, but I'm just building the blocks of knowledge through these sessions. And please join these sessions so that it's to help yourself, not to help others. So yeah, I came to know one thing today. Let's see how the hands-on will go now. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna start. Welcome, Lakshmi, and thank you again for volunteering.
Yeah. I just want the screen sharing permission.
Oh, let me change that.
You're already the co-host, Lakshmi, so you should be able to.
You are here, JB.
Thank you, JB.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, we're going to build, first step to building that wait until event functionality is we're going to want to build a new entry source that is going to need to be attached to that wait until event. Yep. So we're going to go to that entry sources. So under the events tab, yep, entry sources, perfect. And we'll click on new event. Yes, we're going to create an API event. And Lakshmi, you have an amazing naming convention, so I will let you name this whichever makes sense in your end.
Yeah. Could you just recall me today's session?
Sure.
The title?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Does it make sense?
Looks good. Okay, next up, a date extension. So whenever you're setting up an entry source, you need a date extension. So we're going to go over, if you want to duplicate your tab, we're going to create a date extension.
Yep.
So this date extension is what's going to be captured in the payload that you're going to send from the API call to the entry event. You could, if you want to click on the Journey Builder Bootcamp, yeah, that one's fine. And we'll create a new date extension. Standard works.
Any difference?
No, create from new looks good. And if you want to use the similar naming convention, it's up to you, however you want to do that. Cool. We're going to want to select sendable. Thank you. So in order for Journey Builder to see it, it needs to be sendable. Great call. We won't worry about retention settings. Okay. So we'll definitely need a subscriber key as our first field.
Do you want to go here?
No, this is, thank you for going back. We'll skip the retention settings for today.
Shall we have
we'll do, yeah,
name?
subscriber key. We'll just do subscriber key for the first, yeah. Perfect. We're not going to have that be primary key either, just because it may be, we can have multiple of the same subscriber engaging. Let's add email address. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but probably worth logging. Whichever way you want to do that, email or email, perfect. We'll select the email address, perfect field, yeah. And then one other thing we're going to add here, Lakshmi, is the journey ID. So however you want to name that. Yep. Texas, I think 50 is safe there. And then let's also do created date, just so that we have that, we'll have that be a default field. Yep, we'll have that be a date field, perfect. We'll hit that plus, yep. And then you can do that nullable because, yeah, perfect. And then we're going to do our sender relationship. We'll make that be the subscriber key down there at the bottom. Okay, so just to talk about what this data is doing, we are going to be making an API call that this wait until event's going to say, okay, I know I have a subscriber in this wait until event that's waiting, for its engagement. So when we're going to pass the subscriber, the wait until event's going to be like, all right, of all the people that I have in my wait until event, you're telling me this subscriber, email address I don't think is absolutely necessary, but this subscriber, and then 2, we want to add the journey ID, because that subscriber could be in wait until events in multiple different journeys. But if they're engaging with that one email and that one journey, we want to make sure that we pass that journey ID so that subscriber moves forward only on the journey that they're engaging with. So that's why we're capturing that journey ID there. Those are the 2 big fields that the wait until event's going to be filtering on. And then the created data is just more for logging. So perfect, Lakshmi, excellent job on that. Nice data extension, that all looks good.
Just one question here, Tim. If we don't have journey ID in this data extension, so the event might be getting confused which journey or which email.
What probably will happen is that it's going to, if you set up, say you have, what typically happens is that a client is going to create a single entry source for their wait until event, right? Say they've got, in this example, they have 5 different lead nurture journeys for different products. Like for the bank, it might be checking, one might be mortgage. Okay. And so they're going to create this one entry event, and so that they can configure their wait until events exactly, the same for all of their journeys. Adding that journey ID in there is going to allow, so if you don't have that journey ID, it's not required, but if it's not there, and that one subscriber, say they entered the journey for mortgages and they entered it in for checking, and if they're both in that wait step without that journey ID, it's going to move both of them forward, and it's not the end of the world, but that's sort of why that's in there. It's not required, but it's kind of something, it's also kind of cool just to think through how that might work, and we'll set that up when we get into the wait until event. But great question. Cool. Okay, awesome. So we've got our data extensions. Let's go back to our entry source and let's see if it pulls it up. We might have to step back, but let's see if it's under that Journey Builder Bootcamp. Yeah, sorry.
Refresh. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see, it will not come in this.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't. I figured it would. But, yeah. Always good to know order of operations in Marketing Cloud.
Yeah.
So my apologies for stopping on that. Repetition is always good. I mean, I in my building, I'm doing tons of repetition because I'm just like this. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go build an entry source. Like, oh wait, I need a data extension. Oh, one thing to point out as you're building that API event, that is a special key that we're going to be using in our API call. That's the key to the wait until event that your third-party system uses to make that call. We'll be able to pick that up when we attach it to the journey too. So. There it is. Yeah, so let's go into that journey data. Yep. And then event data. Let's bring over that journey ID. And we'll drag it over to that filter criteria. Okay. And then your journey ID, actually we haven't built the journey yet. So we will do that. That's fine. We can, actually, I think we may be configuring that in the journey wait until event. So yeah, I think if we go back to that entry source, I think we can leave it without the filter in there. We can always come back and edit that. So we can X out of that. Yeah, and we'll hit next. I think we do the configuration in the wait until event. for that. Yep, that all looks good. Excellent. Okay, that's a big step, all done. Okay, so now we're going to create a new journey and we're going to build the wait until event. So yep, create a new journey. Multi-step journey sounds good to me. Let's name that journey. I always like to name it first just because it can be good to see that. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to do a Salesforce data entry event for our testing. We've got a campaign set up in Salesforce CRM, make us easy just to throw a subscriber in here, a lead. So we'll click on that Salesforce data. And we're going to go to Salesforce data over there on the right. And yep. And then in the search bar, we're going to enter campaign. We're going to want to select campaign member. If we go back one, yeah, we want campaign, yep, campaign member, perfect. We're going to want to select the contact and leads. Yep, that looks good, perfect. Hit next. We're going to do is created or is updated, both of those checked. Okay. And then we're going to want to drag over campaign ID. And then in the channel, the chat, I added a campaign ID. It's a number that begins with 701K. If you want to copy that, or that's the campaign that I've set up in the Salesforce CRM side that we can, drop leads into and feed them into this journey. Okay, and if you go back there one more time, let's hit that pencil. We gotta paste it in one more time. It's a little finicky. Yeah, so if you paste that in there, yeah, and then, okay, let's go back one more time. Yep. There it is. See that, how it appears there? Perfect. Yeah, there's that step that it's weird. This little, yeah, you have to let it register. Perfect, thank you. And then we're gonna scroll down on the left to status. Yep, we can search there if you want. We'll drag over status. And then we're going to want to select add to campaign. Perfect. Done. We can hit next. We don't need any additional filters. We can hit next again. And we're good on the data points here. Again, we just want to pull a subscriber in. So we can hit next there as well. That all looks good. And done. And let's save that. Sometimes,
yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so now we're going to want to add our wait until event. This is going to be a super simple journey. We're just going to add a wait until event. And that's, yep, lower left-hand corner. Just add it onto the canvas. Yep, perfect. You can delete that wait step. Cool. Let's click into that wait until event. We'll select that existing entry source we created. Cool. And it should select the data extension for you.
Yep.
And then if we go to the filter criteria, now we'll want, yep, journey ID, drag that over. And then it's in the URL. It is, sometimes that Zoom blocks it. It's after the 23. So the number starts after the 23 and it ends before the slash. Yep, perfect. And Lakshmi, you might want to save that ID like in a notepad. We're going to need that for Postman. We're going to need to provide that in our payload because we're adding that here as a filter.
Yep.
All looks good. Awesome, awesome. You can hit summary. And then maximum wait duration. Just for this exercise, we're just going to say 1 day. And we'll hit done. Let's hit save. Oh, a small pet peeve of mine. Let's change those 1 day wait steps to 1 minute, just so that as you're doing your testing, you don't have to wait for that subscriber to take a day to get, depending on the path. Okay. We'll go into the journey entry settings. You could probably do re-enter after exiting. Re-entry after exiting, perfect. We'll hit done. All looks good. Yeah, it pulls up that common email by default.
Yeah.
Awesome, that looks good. So I think we're ready to activate this journey. Again, this is super simple. Again, like if you had attended that hands-on session where we were doing an API event, journey entry, this is a very same logic. If it's the first time you're standing up the wait until event, this is a good step to do. You want to be able to, in your environment, test the functionality. You might be working with a third-party group, your web team, who might be sending those API calls to trigger it. You might be working with a developer who might be building that handler on the cloud page. But so instead of building a complex journey and then adding this in, if this is the first time you're standing up, it might be helpful just to build a simple journey like this to test the functionality so that your team can document the best way to set up the entry source, wait until event configuration, just isolate this functionality to be stood up. So you have that, identified. So that's why we're building that out. This out is a very simple use case. So yeah, so let's activate this journey. This all looks good.
No message activity. I was about to.
Yep.
Do we need to say
That's
something?
okay. Again, this is just for testing purposes. We're just, standing up this functionality. So yeah, that's fine. We'll wait for the journey builder with the pop-up, little rocket ship. Any questions in the chat while we're waiting for Journey Builder to activate? Okay, I don't see anything. Awesome, we'll hit return to journey. Okay, and then Lakshmi, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm gonna go into the Salesforce CRM environment and we're gonna go and take a lead that we had created for you and we're gonna drop them into this campaign. So here we are in the Salesforce CRM environment. I'm on my leads list view. Lakshmi has been created as a lead because she's our #1 hands-on builder. She's been used her as leads before. So I'm just going to highlight that lead. I'm going to add to this campaign. We have a campaign that's already set up, this JB Bootcamp wait until event campaign. We're going to use the add to campaign member status. We're going to click submit. And I think in previous hands-on sessions, we've covered how to creating a campaign, super easy within the Salesforce CRM environment. Just to save some steps today, we did not have that created. But you can see we just added Lakshmi to this campaign, and I'm going to stop sharing. We should see, hopefully should see Lakshmi entering in this journey. And she should hopefully be sitting in that wait until event step. We might just need to refresh. And then if you scroll, let's try that view event results. Okay, someone's in the journey, that's all good. It's just taking a second for the canvas to show. Yeah. All right, there we go. See if that aligns with the lead I'm seeing on our end. EAB, yep, ends in EAB, that all looks right. There we go. All right, so perfect. Now we've got Lakshmi sitting in this wait until event. She's gonna sit here for a day, like we had set this up. Typically, you would have, an email before this. You would have a call to action button, something that the person would engage with. That call to action button would be going to your Marketing Cloud page, which would be doing the API callback, move them through the wait until event. But we're gonna show you a way you can use Postman or an API tool just to validate this functionality, so that you can test it on your end. And as you're working with your third-party web team or your developer, or if you're a developer yourself, just checking through to see how this works, we're going to replicate the API actions in Postman. So Lakshmi, I think before we go into Postman, let's click into that wait until event activity. And I think that's going to give us that API event key, which is going to be helpful. Yeah, so let's copy that. You're going to need two things. Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah. Perfect. So you've got the API event key and you've got the journey ID. Excellent.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you want to share your Postman instance that I think we had used in a prior session? Awesome. So I think your auth call still works, right? I think that's still set up to that installed package that we had set up before. Awesome. And then let's go to your post data. Let's see what we've got there. Okay, great. So this was in our use case. Our payload was simple: subscriber key, email address. So now we need to add one more field to this payload. Exactly. Yes. Good idea to double check the syntax on your field, just by memory sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Like best practice really is literally to copy it. Yeah. I think that always works best, prevents those errors. Yeah. And then we'll follow that same syntax. Yeah. And that's where you're going to want to paste in that journey ID. Perfect. And then you're going to want to add a comma on line 6 because, yeah, perfect. Yep. And then one last thing is that API event you'll want to change. Your subscriber key is fine. It is the same, that is the same lead ID, so you're good there. Thank you for checking that. Staying on the email address, you're good there, because we use this for our API event entry. But you'll want to replace that API event. Perfect. Nice. Let's hit save. Save your good work here. Yep, right up there. Perfect. And as I think we covered this before in the developer documentation, there's all different types of syntax when you're making API calls. Because Lakshmi had set this up as an API, using the API syntax, this uses the exact same syntax for the wait until event, which is handy. Okay, so yeah, let's do your auth call. We'll create that token. Fingers crossed that's still working. Excellent. Yay. We'll copy the token. And it's all the way down to the quote at the end there. Yep, perfect. And then we'll go back to the post. We'll go to the authorization tab. Yep. And then we'll paste it over in there. Perfect. Yeah, let's hit send.
It's bad.
Add request. Interesting. Always something, a postman. Got the token. All looks good. Yeah.
Display the token.
Yeah. Oh, weird. Oh, let's check the body. Maybe there's something wrong with the body that is there. Let's see. Add request. API event. Weird. Let me. Subscriber to email address. Can you drop in the chat? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking because this subscriber key did not enter this journey, right? Or the campaign.
Let me see.
Could you be able to give me
channel.
the recent contact key or the?
Yep. Here's what I dropped into the campaign. And let me.
The same one.
Can you drop in the channel the API event, in the chat, the API event and the journey ID?
Yeah.
I'm going to try it in my Postman instance on my end. Thank you. I was trying this yesterday, so it was working for me, but you never know. All right, let me share my screen and let me see if I have any success on my end. All right. Okay, and let me get the chat. Okay, so there's the API event. I'm going to take the journey ID. And here is your contact ID, subscriber key.
Email address?
Email address.
Shall I give?
I should have that here.
On the top, compact.
Okay, all looks good. Let me try posting this. Okay, let me get this token. Okay, it might be something in your Postman, and it can be finicky. It does look like you added the payload as you had added it correctly here. So it'd be interesting. Maybe I can troubleshoot that in another session, but let me stop sharing.
Yep.
But so that was that success that we were able to see a successful API call into Marketing Cloud. So let's go back to the journey. Let's go to the date extension. We should see a record populated in there. That's a good sign that someone's come through. Okay. we've got you coming through. We've got that journey ID. And then let's go back to Journey Builder and see if they, it's moved through. Sometimes it takes a second, like a minute or two, for this to happen. We'll give it a second. There we go. So yeah, I mean that's basically in the nutshell what what the functionality. And again, we didn't have time in this session. In the channel at the very top, we in JV's prior boot camps, we've sort of broken down this functionality in her server-side JavaScript bootcamp. You can sort of cycle back into those that series, and we break down how to build a cloud page from scratch that makes an API call that does that simple functionality. So if you're a developer or if you're interested in building out your skills using server-side JavaScript, it's not that complicated. I mean, it's a different language. It's a little bit more challenging than AmpScript, but definitely encourage you to check out that series if you want to take this to the next level, which is to build a cloud page for that API call functionality. But I think this is a good first step with everybody. I think the prior hands-on session that Lakshmi stood up Postman, for those who are new to Postman or it's an API tool, definitely look in the earlier series. Lakshmi walked us through how to set up what we just reviewed, the two different calls in Postman, the auth call to make the connection to Marketing Cloud, and then the second call, which is sending the payload. That can be helpful for, in this example, if you want to set up a wait until event and validate the functionality on your end. It can be helpful on the earlier use case that we did, which was to build an API event journey. It can be very helpful for validating triggered sends. So definitely recommend when you're standing up wait until event to do this first. Get it setting up, working in your environment. And then when you're working with your third-party group, with your developer, with your web team, you'll be able to say, hey guys, I've got this working on my end, so I can see this is how it's working. You got to make sure that in your payload that, are you including the journey ID, or, is the subscriber key? So if you've got it working on your end, you'll have some confidence to, as you're working with your partners, with your developer, to be able to say, yeah, I've got it working on my end, and I can, help them walk through the process, have some visibility in there, and definitely encourage you to put on that developer hat and build it end to end on, on your end as well. Awesome, Lakshmi, amazing work. That was a lot in a very short period of time. Any questions on your end?
No.
Oh, okay. Any questions from anybody else on this chat? Okay. I know we got a couple minutes. Let's try that Postman one more time. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to kind of do like a side-by-side. Let's see. We know it was totally working for that API event, right? It was totally working. That looks like the right URL. You're getting the token, so that was no problem. Let's take a look at the payload. It's got to be the payload. And try it one more time. Won't hurt for you to send it through again.
I think one more curly braces.
Yes, that's it. Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. Where did that curly brace go?
No, last time also you didn't paste it on the chat.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That is good.
Yes. Yeah. Nice problem solving. Yay.
Right.
Yeah, let's go check that date extension. Your second record should have appeared by now. It's not going to do anything in the journey because it's already moved on.
Yeah.
But just to validate that it populated the journey. All right. Nice job. Troubleshooting. Woohoo. Cool. And that should have a different timestamp. Yep. 5 minutes later. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Excellent. Love it. Troubleshooting in Postman, so hair pulling. Like it's like, what are these errors? It didn't work. Sometimes the install package may not have all the rights associated with it, so that can be like frustrating. I thought that someone might have gone into one of those installed packages and changed something. I thought that might be the case, but yeah, oftentimes it's something simple as the syntax.
Just one question on
Nicely
this,
done,
Journey
Lakshmi.
Canvas. Yeah. Am I audible, Tim?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah. Just one question, because we set the wait time after entering this, it is just 1 minute and then it will exit, right?
It's exited. I don't think it ever appears on that green circle.
No, it won't.
You are out. Yeah, you're out of the
Yeah.
journey there.
Yeah. My question is, as we set the
Oh,
journey settings as re-enter after exiting, if I do one more API event or API call now, I should see 2 at this point. Wait until event.
well, I can drop you back into the campaign. Want me to do that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you'd have to. It'd have to be another.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have to trigger you again. So I just deleted you from the campaign in Salesforce. I'm just going to add you again to that
that's
same
okay.
campaign. Okay. Well, I'll do it anyways. If you want offline, if you want to test, you will appear again. You'll be a number 2 in there. I just dropped you in. And if you want to validate on your end with your Postman instance, but you'll need to wait. But that's okay. That's another thing. Is we've noticed when we implement this with some clients that if you, depending on how quickly you click on the email for the handler, if you get the email and you click on it, like right after you get it, it could be so fast that as soon as you get the email, that it may not actually enter in the wait until event. And so that click might send that API call, and that wait until event hasn't registered the entry of the person entering it in yet. So when you're doing your testing of this, definitely give it like 5 minutes to before to validate that. So yeah. One other thing to mention about the wait until event that we learned is that when you if you activate a new version of a journey and your existing subscribers that are in your existing journey, they go into that finishing state. We all know that. The wait until event unfortunately will not work in a finishing state. So it's just good to know that. We talk with Salesforce support, and they know it's a challenge. Again, it really is an edge case issue. It's rarely happens, but because of the state of the journey, it's sort of the trigger functionality of the journey doesn't respond the same way as in the running state. So just be knowledgeable about that when you're standing up and using the wait until event, which we highly recommend. It's such a game-changing activity to use across the board, but just remember that is a challenge with it when you create a new journey.
Yeah.
A new activity, a new version of a journey. Sorry. Okay, excellent. I got to hop to a meeting. Lakshmi, amazing job as usual. Thank you again for being an awesome volunteer, showing Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Postman, super cool,
Whatnot,
and
everything.
troubleshooting.
At the midnight.
Yeah, being midnight marketing clouding.
I have learned 2-3 things new, and then after the API event as a source, I built 2 journeys in my current org, and they're like, yeah, I'm happy for learning.
Amazing.
That's awesome, Tim and Lakshmi, and really appreciate you waking up till the late night and participating in this. And thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyotsna. Bye.
Thank you, JB.
Bye everyone.